Hello and welcome to episode 941 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Gregory Seward.
Hello.
How's it going?
I realized after I started waving that this is an audio podcast. And
Although
should probably say something.
A lot of people are watching on YouTube. They watch the VOD on YouTube. So
yeah,
I appreciate that. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, leave us a comment or say hi on Blue Sky or something so that we know you're out there. I can see the numbers. You are watching the show.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Should we be monetizing this?
Of course not.
I don't think our channel's big enough to monetize yet.
Our channel's not
They hit a certain threshold before you can
Should
do
we
that.
be getting sponsors?
Yes. Problem with sponsors is that CJ always says no, and then he goes ahead and read the ad anyway.
That's true.
Yeah. Then they get free
It's like the
advertising.
other day I was listening to a book on audible.com. Let me tell you some of the great deals you can get on Audible right now.
That's right. You can get a subscription, you get credits, and you can download sort of all the books, all the audiobooks you want.
Brought to you by Masterclass.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Diewald.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, grand.
Just grand. Is
Never
it?
been better.
I see.
How are you?
Huh. I am just dandy. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks for asking,
Glad we
Phil.
got that out of the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Should we talk about some video games?
I don't know. Should we?
By the way, my daughter watched the Suicide Squad movie, the 2016 Suicide Squad movie.
Wait. The non...
The good one or the bad one?
No, that's the
non-James
bad
Gunn?
one. No, the non-James Gunn.
Oh, yeah.
Ew, why would she do that?
Because
it's got Harley Quinn in
HBO
it.
Max suggested that she watch it based on her previous viewing habits of watching everything Batman and Superman.
Right.
Imagine my surprise when it suggested she watch some Suicide Squad. So my daughter and my wife watched Suicide Squad, the non-James Gunn one.
Yeah, the bad one.
The bad one. And I knew it was the bad one.
The
And
really
I looked
bad
on-
one.
I looked at it on Max. I was like, which one did you watch? Because there's two.
Yeah.
And saw that they watched the bad one. But they really liked it. My daughter, Charlotte, really liked it.
There were fun moments in that.
Well, if
you don't pay too close attention, it's entertaining.
she's gonna flip when she watches the good one. Then
I know. Yeah. So
And I mean,
I added that to her watch list.
Bill's right in the chat.
Yeah.
At least get her watching the Harley Quinn cartoon.
Now you said that was not appropriate.
Well, I mean,
Neither is Suicide Squad.
If she's watched that.
and at least the Harley Quinn cartoon is good.
Well, that's true.
So
And my daughter's seen Die Hard. Like she's seen a lot of movies she probably shouldn't see. Did I tell you we watched Army of Darkness together?
Probably.
Mention that? We watched it together. I put it on. I was like, let's see if she. So we were watching.
Army of Darkness is
Army of
not
Darkness is
that bad.
slapstick comedy for crying out loud.
I know exactly. It's slapstick. It's R-rated, but why? There's nothing bad in it.
No, that's as PG-13 as a movie can
I
get.
think it's just because of some of the language. That's the only reason it got an R rating.
Probably.
I don't think there's like one F-bomb in the whole movie.
Is there?
Yeah.
I can only think of one, but that doesn't mean anything. I haven't watched it in years. So.
But what happened was we did our normal like Saturday. We're watching a bunch of shows, watched some Batman animated series, some Ranma.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to put this on. And she's like, I'm going upstairs. Like, I don't want to watch this. I was like,
your
just
stupid old man movie.
just give it like 5 minutes. Give it a good watch. And she was hooked in 5 minutes.
Good.
And she was like, this is so stupid. I was like, but you're still here watching it. She's like, stupid means good, that I'm enjoying it.
It's stupid fresh, as the kids say.
It's stupid awesome, apparently.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and she got a Batman Santa hat. Did I tell you this too? She has a Santa hat that has the Batman logo on it.
Oh.
Yeah. And she did a Christmas recital for her vocal lessons and wore the Batman.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
That was
Good
the
stuff.
recital. Did she sing the Jingle Bells Batman Smells song?
No, but she should have. My
That's a
gosh.
shame. Missed opportunity.
Realizing. Yeah.
Yep.
But from that Christmas recital, I got some ideas for Christmas songs that we should do
Oh,
or not do any of them.
Okay.
We'll just have to see.
Okay.
Alrighty. Let's talk about some video game news.
Okay.
You hear about this?
Sure did.
There
Crazy.
was-
Can you believe it?
There was a software update to PlayStation 5 consoles. Actually, I don't know if it was an update. It just said like there was a feature update.
Oh.
And if you tried to use your PS5, it said there was a feature update. Please restart your system if you want to take advantage or whatever. So, and when you did, it did a startup like the old PlayStation 1 Sony Computer Entertainment thing, and then did the PS2 startup, I think, too. Maybe. But then, so the special 30th anniversary boot up, and then themes have somehow magically appeared on PS5 because there's a theme that you can apply to your system for each one of the PlayStation hardware generations.
Yeah.
I don't know if did you guys do this?
Hell yeah.
I saw them, and I cycled through the themes to look at them,
Yep.
and then I switched back to just the default.
Me too. Too disrupt. It was
What?
not great.
I put on like the PS1 theme, and then I go out to the main menu, and then like the top like quarter or third of the screen
It's covered.
is just a big like PS1 system covering up all the like actual like
Icons.
main home images, and I'm just like,
It
this is
doesn't- it covers them. Oh, is it just because the
Yeah, it
contrast
covers
is
them.
bad?
Yeah. And the PS2 one also has like, stuff covering.
I use the
information,
PS2
so-
one, and I don't have any problems with it covering any information.
No.
No.
Okay.
But I mean, I could see that with the PS1 if the icons are a light color, because the PS1 is
I
obviously really
cycled
light
through
gray.
all of them,
but-
and just like, you know, when I would scroll over and highlight a game, and it brings up like a big image of like game key art or whatever it brings up.
Hmm.
There's just PS2 startup screen graphics hovering over it, and I'm just like, this is ugly. I don't like this.
I think it looks great.
So
I
ditched
see.
them, kicked it to the curb.
I
Nice
actually,
idea.
I actually had trouble picking which one I wanted because I really like I have so many fond memories of the PS2.
Right.
I think it's probably my favorite system ever. And but then I absolutely loved the Wave theme for the PS3. They did it for they updated it for PS4 as well, but the PS3 one I really like a lot. And that's basically what that theme is just has that wave in the background. So, but yeah, I've had the PS2 one on and I love it. I have not seen any of what you guys are talking about. Now I want to look.
I don't know. Maybe I'm oversensitive.
I've
I
never
might
known
also
you to be
be.
oversensitive, Phil.
The hell's that supposed to mean?
See? Just like that.
Well, there was one with the PS2 theme. I think it was covering some of the key art with humanity, which is why I didn't
Oh,
like
Jesus.
The worst crime.
it. The worst crime. How can you cover that beautiful key art? Come on,
Agreed.
man. Anyway,
Yeah.
so maybe this means themes are coming to PS5. These are available for a limited time, and yeah, you can swap between them or turn them off in the settings menu. So
Yeah,
We'll see
you guys
what
are
happens
crazy. The top of this theme is not covering anything.
okay.
Maybe when you like preview it, it does, but this is all background. Okay, you know what? And now that I've said that, you're right. It does cover part of the key art. Yes.
See,
But it's not covering icons.
Well, I'm
It's
not talking
just
about that.
literally well, one of you was.
I was talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm talking
So
about covering
CJ is
the
crazy.
key art.
Yes.
Oh wait,
You're
no,
right. It
I
does
wasn't
cover
talking
the
about
key art.
covering icons.
Yeah.
Does
I was
cover the
only
key
talking
art.
about
We
You're
were
right.
both talking about covering the key art.
No,
That's
one
why
of
we
you said
both said the
icons.
words.
That's why I said it's weird.
Key
that-
art.
That's why I said maybe you're right because, you know.
You were the one who
PS
said icons, so you're
one
mad
is-
at yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my
Why are you
gosh.
hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Look at
You know,
Greg
the-
trying to gaslight us here.
The best part about this is that I know CJ can't be bothered to edit the episode, so we'll be able to go back and listen to this.
You mean
Anyway.
you saying that it covers
Anyway,
the icons?
I
There's no
think
need
it
to
looks
edit you
great.
being wrong, Greg.
I think it looks great.
Okay.
I think it looks like great too if you like don't like seeing the whole images.
You know, I think I didn't notice because I don't ever look at those images. I scroll over and I just hit X to start the game I want to play.
Yeah,
so I just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Not for me.
Don't like it. Another thing you may or may not like, Donkey Kong Land 3 is now on NSO.
Don't like it.
So now that's 3 Donkey Kong Land games on NSO. So they're on a bit of a streak with the Donkey Kong games on Nintendo Switch Online /
NSO
Expansion
games
Pass.
Fast and Furious.
Where is Donkey Kong 94?
Yeah,
so that one's not on there?
Not available yet.
The only one that's worth playing.
It is the one that's absolutely worth playing that you probably haven't played, dear listener, although I've played it. I know Phil has. I know Greg has.
Hell yeah.
It's a great game, and it is not just Donkey Kong, the arcade game.
But that's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
they disguised it as Donkey Kong, the arcade game.
They disguised it, but nobody got the memo.
No, it's great.
No. Yeah. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, one of these days there'll be a tweet. Donkey Kong 94 is up on NSO. I'm not holding my breath, though.
Do you think, because isn't there some weirdness around the Donkey Kong rights? Do you think that it would be affecting it? I mean, it's not like the Donkey Kong code for the Game Boy was okay.
I doubt it. I mean, Arcade Archives has Donkey Kong on there.
But I don't know if that was more of a one-off situation where somebody was paid for a certain amount of time to have these. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe.
I mean, I don't know if I don't think it's been delisted. But anyway, just curious.
Well, I know we're all hotly anticipating the Switch 2 for whenever it gets announced, but apparently some accessories are already being sold online for the Switch 2, even though the system hasn't been announced. We haven't seen anything on it. There are cases and tempered glass screen covers available on Alibaba, online shopping site Alibaba. I've never ordered anything from Alibaba.
No, neither have I.
I've used Ali or AliExpress, but not Alibaba.
Isn't that the same thing?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, you can get your Switch 2 accessories now. You can buy that screen protector and have it sit for 6 months to a year.
And then find out that it wasn't actually the right size.
And find out that it's not the right size. Yeah. Do you put screen protectors on your stuff? Either?
Hell yeah.
I don't believe I have a screen protector on my Switch.
I've never put a screen protector on anything.
But then
Really?
I don't take my Switch out in public very much.
I put a screen protector on my Switch, and I also put one on my Analog Pocket, a tempered glass screen protector on there, and actually had a situation where I dropped the thing.
Oh dear.
Yeah, which I don't ever do, and it landed face down.
Oh shit.
Like, oh no.
Oh.
And there was a crack when I picked it up, but it was the screen protector.
Oh good.
The device itself is absolutely fine. So it's like, I guess I'm always putting a screen protector on things.
Or just don't drop any of your devices. Just don't drop anything ever.
That's the solution.
I did
put the screen protector on my Analog Pocket.
You did?
I did do that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything that has a screen protector. I may have done that with like an early iPhone. But then I didn't like how it often would make the screen appear like dimmer than it actually was. And if you put a screen protector on those early iPhones before they perfected screen protector stuff, it would like not register your touches.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
And things. And that was a long time ago, but I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now.
I did get one for my TV, which was a pain in the ass to install.
But you just left the plastic on, right? Did you do that too?
I bought like a tempered glass.
In addition to
like a giant 65-inch tempered glass.
No, you didn't.
I had to very carefully stick it on.
No, you didn't.
I had to get a giant novelty credit card to swipe over to get the air bubbles out.
No, you didn't.
It was an ordeal.
No, you didn't.
But it was worth it.
No, you didn't.
I have full confidence now in case I drop my TV.
Can add this to the soundboard. No, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. Okay. So get your screen protectors and cases for the Switch 2 now, because
Yeah.
they're going to be sold. They're going to be sold out. You have to get those now.
Well, they might be already sold out. Who knows?
That's true. NSO is also getting the NES Tetris this week, and in fact, I believe this weekend, it may already be over. There was a Tetris 99 event, a Maximus Cup event, where you could get the Tetris for NES theme,
which I did get.
I did not.
Oh,
because I don't have any nostalgia for the Nintendo NES Tetris. I have nostalgia for the Tengen version, because that's the version that I had.
Absolutely.
I have been very good about collecting all of the themes for Tetris 99. I still have them, all of them. I think they're
you don't have to buy them, or you don't have to do it right when the event happens, right? You can buy them with tickets after. Some of them, anyway.
They did that for some of them. I don't know if that's like an all the time thing.
It is all the time. Well, those offers, you can buy them with tickets. Well, I don't know if it stays up, but last time I looked, you could buy a bunch.
Yeah, I don't know if those stay up or not. I've never cheated to get them. I've always earned mine.
Oh, I see.
By playing well.
Huh. Mr. Fancy Pants.
So,
yeah.
I do okay at Tetris 99. It takes me about 4 matches to unlock one of those themes.
Tetris 99 is the game that taught me I suck at Tetris. I always thought I was good at Tetris until
I'm pretty
people who are really
okay
good
at Tetris 99.
Yeah.
I will usually finish within like the top 15.
No. God, no.
I will say, so every year at Enhance, we run a Tetris Effect Connected World Championship, and the one for this year just ended this weekend.
Yeah.
And if you want to see some top level Tetris play, it's absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
Crazy stuff in all the modes of Tetris Effect Connected. So
people who are really good at Tetris,
my mind doesn't work that quick.
Good at Tetris.
They are really damn good.
Yeah.
And the people who can do that motion, the thing with the controller, I forget what it's called, where they're like tapping on the back of the controller.
Yeah,
Have you seen that move?
Like that little kid was able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
I don't even understand the physics of that.
I can't do it. do it.
Yeah. That kid who won like what? Like
Blue Scooty.
What's that?
Blue Scooty is his hacker alias.
Is that his Christian name?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's named after his grandfather. The elder Blue Scooty. But he's like the Tetris world champ or something like that, right?
He better be.
I don't know if the classic Tetris World Championships are held. Usually they used to be around this time, but now they're in the summer. I don't remember if he won over the summer.
He beat NES Tetris.
Yeah, he beat that. Well, that was last year, right? That was a year ago.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Almost a year ago to the day.
Yeah.
He's best known for becoming Willis Gibson.
Amanda loves his novels.
Blue Scooty. Best known for becoming the first person to quote unquote beat NES Tetris on December 21st, 2023, after he triggered a kill screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hyper tap is the name of the technique. And Blue Scooty is not the top. He's not the champ. He's top ranking. Yeah.
Okay. He's also 14, so he's better than all of us combined.
And definitely better than any of us would have been at 14, right?
Oh, easily. Did Tetris exist when we were 14?
I mean, it existed.
Yeah, it existed.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, I was...
We're not that old.
1989, I was 12.
13 when the Game Boy came out, so...
Yeah, I was 12.
But I mean, it existed before that, so...
Yeah.
Hyper Tap, by the way, sounds like some kind of sketchy NES accessory that came out back in the day.
From Comerica.
Yeah, or some new technology, some new autonomous driving technology that Elon Musk has put in the Tesla.
I don't know. The Hyper Tap actually seems to work.
There you go.
It'd be like some sort of plastic peripheral you plug your NES controller into, and it's supposed to like make it easier to push the buttons.
That's crazy. Yeah.
While you're wearing your neoprene fingerless gloves.
Hell
Your Airbuster gloves.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Airbuster gloves. And just one more thing I wanted to point out here. I talked about the game The Alters when the Steam Next Fest demo was out.
Yeah.
And now it's available on PS5. And I think people should play it. I think it's a really good game. Anyway, it's like you're some kind of space miner. You get stuck on an alien planet, and your entire crew has died. And you use the ship's genetic duplication machine to make duplicates of yourself. But you can like alter sections of your life. Like, okay, you didn't learn this lesson in your life, so it branched from here and you did this. You became a scientist instead, or you became a janitor instead of an engineer and things like that. Like kind of a really interesting concept for a game. And then you use those doubles to help you on the ship. And it's really, I thought it was really fun, really interesting, really had some sort of interesting narrative choices. So go play it on PS5 because it's available. That game was supposed to originally come out in 2024, got delayed to 2025. So we'll be playing that. I'll be playing that next year, but you can play a demo of it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure we'll get a lot of game announcements coming up here at the Game Awards this week. You guys excited?
Is it Thursday?
Oh, right.
Yeah. Something like that.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe we'll see some more of those Sega games that they announced last year, right? They announced
boy.
Oh, right.
That's
all
exciting.
of those.
I forgot about all that.
I mean, I am excited for those games. I just wish they'd come out.
Me too.
Waiting for a year.
I mean, they will at some point.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm a big fan. I'll tell you, Nintendo spoiled me. I like that Nintendo basically just says, hey, here's a new game. Go buy it right now. You know what I mean? Like
it's out in 3 months.
Or it's out in 3 months. Like it's not like, here's a new game we're working on. We'll see you sometime in 2028.
Right.
Yeah. Very exciting stuff. All right. Let's do what you've been playing.
Oh, my.
Phil.
That was quick.
Yes.
That was quick.
Hmm.
Why don't you
maybe a little
talk
too quick?
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little too raff.
Did I kick too quick? Well, another thing we can say at the top here, Greg and I were on a conference call with some of our old school EGM buddies in
goodness.
preparation for the EGM retrospective book.
Yeah. And we only went like to 2.5 times over.
Oh, really?
And we could have gone a lot longer, honestly.
How long were you guys chatting?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw the screenshot of the Zoom call.
Yeah.
It was good seeing John Dudlek again.
I know.
And Jeannie Kim. I haven't seen them in forever.
I think the last time I saw Jeannie was at my wedding, which was 18 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
She didn't come up for the divorce though. I don't understand that. But anyway, but yeah, as we were talking, I was trying to think. I think the last time I've seen or spoken to Dudlak outside of maybe interacting with him a bit while he was freelancing was after I left EGM and moved home. I went down to Chicago for something. I had some reason to go down to Chicago and got together
grab a deep dish.
John's. Yeah, got together at John's place for a barbecue with nice. Jeannie and Dean and Cyril. I'm going to say probably Jim Cardano was there. And maybe Mike Reisel was there as well.
Oh, wow.
And that was 20 years ago. Like, I'm sure it's been 20 years. Well, last night we learned John has kids. I had no idea John had kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Neither.
Yeah. So
plural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was great. It was good fun.
It was a super fun time. So you people who have backed the Kickstarter will get to see that later. Read all about it. All right, Phil.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us what you've been playing? Arr, what have you been playing?
Why did we? What's happening?
What buried treasure?
CJ's going into full pirate mode for some reason. That's okay. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I've been playing something a little unusual. That's not that unusual, but
Like a Cyndi Lauper album?
oh man, I wish.
So unusual?
She's great.
That's what she was.
Yeah.
I played a bit of Justice League Cosmic Chaos this week.
Oh.
Which is a superhero game. Not the big superhero game that came out this week. Not Marvel Rivals.
Oh, you didn't play that?
You know what? I did download it.
I also downloaded it.
I'm not going to get into Marvel Rivals because it's Overwatch, and Overwatch is not my type of game.
No, right.
But I do feel obligated to at least try Marvel Rivals because it has a playable Squirrel Girl in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got to.
And it has that shark. What's the name of the shark?
Jeff, I think.
Jeff.
I think it's Jeff the shark.
Sounds like something Monty Python would. Some call me Tim.
Exactly.
Well, I've heard Jeff is a good character to play as, or might be a good character for me because they're a support class character.
Oh, okay.
And they do healing, so I'm totally down with that.
Oh, perfect.
I play support in most shooters, so yeah.
Well, there you go. I can be Squirrel Girl. You can be Jeff.
Yep.
We can.
Gosh.
Greg can be the tank character.
Hey,
I don't even know what kind of character Squirrel Girl is. I know she has a slingshot.
I don't know. Yeah. DPS.
I don't know.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what DPS is?
Need more dots.
Yeah, it means dots per second.
No.
It's how many pixels she can cover as she runs. She's very speedy.
No.
It's you can cover
damage per second. Damage per second.
I knew that.
Did you really?
I actually did.
You didn't.
Huh?
Did you really?
I did. Yes. Yes, I did.
All right.
I did.
All right.
You know. I work with people who play these types of games.
And you have to hear them droning on about it.
I do.
Sometimes
every day.
End up sticking.
But what I did play is the silly Cosmic Chaos game.
Is this a new game or is this?
This is a relatively new game. It's a kids game.
So it's by which company put this out?
It's
game.
Outright
Is it
Games.
Game Mill or is it Outright Games?
It's Outright Games. It's Outright Games.
Which one is it? Yeah.
So it's not going to be very good.
Yeah.
Although I will say Outright Games stuff tends to be a little better than Game Mill's stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not
probably
very
just
good.
Middling.
Yes, exactly.
It's not great, but not like awful.
Yes.
It's just kind of there.
The main reason I wanted to play this is the main reason was because on Black Friday I was able to get a copy for like $10 from Best Buy. So I was like, okay, for cheap, I'll pick it up. And I mainly wanted to play it for the kind of story aspect because it's got a solid cast doing the voices. You got Nolan North is in it as Superman.
That's good.
You got Diedrich Bader as Batman. And I know he's voiced Batman in some of the cartoons before.
Well, and he also voices Harvey Dent in the new Amazon animated show.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Harvey Dent / Two-Face.
Vanessa Marshall is Wonder Woman. And she was on Star Wars Rebels. She was Hera, like one of the main characters on Rebels. Josh Keaton is in it as the Flash. And the villain of the game, this is another reason why I was interested in it, because the villain of the game is Mr. Mixospitlick.
Oh,
Mixospitlick, isn't it?
It's pronounced It depends on which show you're watching, but it's been pronounced a few different ways.
Yeah.
But you, CJ, you've been watching the Superman animated series, so you've probably encountered him.
Yes.
Voiced in the
By Gilbert
cartoon by the
Gottfried.
ideal Mixus Pitlick voice actor, Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
Who,
Nice.
of course, sadly,
R.I.P.
is no longer with us. So the new, the voice actor for him now is probably your second best choice. It's Dana Snyder,
Oh, okay. There you go.
who you may know as Master Shake
Master
from the
Shake.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
That's really good casting there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why I wanted to play this game. Which, and it is, it's, from what I've played, not terribly good. It's a very simplistic kind of just you're running around levels, beating up people, just tapping an attack button.
Sounds like a Lego game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, imagine like if a Lego game was
Or Knack.
Knack.
It's the
Knack
ultimate
is a Lego game.
intersection between Lego and Knack.
People hate Knack, but actually it's a pretty good kids game.
I've never actually played Knack. I have no real opinion about Knack.
My daughter loved Knack too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She
It
might,
would make me
what?
play it repeatedly.
She
too.
might like this game
She might, yeah.
because she's probably not going to be as picky about the gameplay.
No. And can you be multiple characters?
You can cycle between Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman,
Perfect.
and they all have their own special moves and whatnot. And there is a crap ton of spoken dialogue in the game,
Okay. Well,
And
I may
it's-
have to buy this for
and it's actually like the story and the humor. It's funny and it's cute. So
Okay.
like personality, the game is top notch. The actual gameplay,
Yeah.
it's there.
Okay.
But yeah, your kid might actually dig it, just because she's so big into the superhero stuff at the moment. So
She really is.
might be worth checking
Although-
out.
Yeah, and super into DC specifically.
Into
Super.
I
into
gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what though? She might actually dig it just based on the whole,
Okay.
love of
Yeah.
DC. So
And she really likes Mixus Pitlick.
there you go. And yeah, he's the main villain of the game.
Cool.
So-
I'm sure she'll love it then.
So yeah,
If you're watching this now, Charlotte, turn it off. This is going to be one of your Christmas presents.
we just spoil a Christmas
Turn
present
it
or something.
off. Maybe.
Oh dear. Well,
it's fine.
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a good game, but it is cute and funny.
I'm just waiting for the text. I'm watching the stream.
But yeah, other than that, like I said, I played a little Tetris 99. I've been waiting for indie. I resubscribed to Game Pass to play indie.
Specifically for Indiana
Yeah.
Jones.
Same.
Oh yeah.
And the reviews that came in last week
They're
are
glowing.
so glowing, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, this we have to all play this now.
and Bill Mudron,
Mhm.
who he picked up, he paid the extra to get the early access version, so he's
The
been
20
playing
or
a bit.
30 bucks. Okay.
He's been posting a bit about it on the Blue Sky, and he seems like he's really digging it so far. So
Cool.
I'm
Is this a game? Even if it causes me motion sickness, I'm going to have to put on the little shock bracelet.
Seems like possibly.
Which is fine. I can play games with the motion sickness bracelet, but I don't prefer to do that
right.
if I don't have to.
Ugh.
I play VR games with it, but
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that just go on your wrist?
just goes on my wrist. Yeah.
Okay. And it
You put a
works.
little lubricant on your wrist underneath
Hello.
the little metal part,
Yeah.
and
Tell me
you
about it
can
after dark.
you can adjust.
So slow down while you describe
Yeah,
this.
you get it. Yeah.
Okay, let me get the bottle of lube out. No.
There we go.
You put a little on your wrist, and then it's for the conduction of the electricity in the device. Right, and you can adjust it, and it sends electric waves into your wrist, into the pressure point. And
to be honest, CJ, this does sound like hokum.
It fucking works. Like, it's kind of crazy how well it works.
I never know how to feel when CJ busts out the casual F-bomb. Like, I know,
right?
It feels, especially he just finished saying his daughter's probably watching the stream.
She's heard that word.
She's
heard me say it.
She just watched Suicide Squad for crying out loud.
That's also true. But yeah, I'll put that on and play it and get a little electricity in my wrist.
We are on Blue Sky, by the way.
We're all on Blue Sky.
Yeah,
I'm responding to the chat.
Yeah, that's Mr. Luke Lore from the Xbox Expansion Pass podcast. We are on Blue Sky, and the podcast is on Blue Sky. I've stopped using X.
Oh, I stopped weeks ago
for the most part. Yeah, my
and
account's
boy,
still there,
it has helped my mental health exponentially.
Yeah, I'll still use X to, if like Enhance is promoting something, I'll retweet it on X because I still have 6,000 followers. But I have over 1,000 followers on Blue Sky now.
Nice.
Oh, look at you!
It's kind of crazy. So
look at you.
Yeah.
I'm just Whimsical Phil. I'm this, the same handle I use everywhere.
And I'm Super Pack. Same. I'm on Blue Sky.
My last name.
There you go.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
There you go. Easy to find.
Yeah, and then P1 Podcast.
Yep.
On the Blue Skies.
Podcast is on there as well.
Yeah. What else have you been playing? Anything?
That's really about it. Like I'm coming up
and you're looking forward to indie.
I got
it preloaded. You got it. Everything good.
Hell yeah.
You preload the game. It's like 136 gig or something like that.
I did preload it.
Okay.
And when does it unlock? Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
I believe it's like Monday night.
Okay, as we are recording on Sunday.
Monday night for you guys. Probably early
Monday
Tuesday
night for us.
For me.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yes, I'm waiting for that. I am very close to my little holiday vacation from work. I got one more week of work left, and then I'm off till January.
That's nice.
So is that like a company thing, or is it just using vacation time?
It's a combination. I am strategically using my PTO right around the same time we have, like when the office shuts down.
So that's a good idea. Yeah,
a nice 3-week vacation.
Nice,
awesome. Yeah.
So I'm gonna hopefully spend some time then, obviously playing indie and getting back into ease. And going from there, but yeah, I'm itching to play indie. All this positive buzz about it.
Yeah,
a lot of positivity about it.
Indie's out now, says Bill.
Yeah, you could pay to play it early.
Well, you can pay the early access price.
Yeah,
I'm no, but and then Inferno 9 says I'm playing indie on Game Pass on PC now. It unlocked at 7 Eastern this evening.
Oh,
so
okay.
Well,
we recording.
Well, why are we doing regular people? Why are we doing a podcast then? Let's just.
Oh my goodness!
Let's end this and go play indie.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
No time for love, Dr. Jones. We got a game to play.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
What else have you been making with a 3D printer? Anything that we should know about?
What have I been making?
Yeah. What's the update? Have you been making anything cool?
You made your maker space.
Oh my gosh!
You did some kind of Starlink thing, right?
Yeah. Remember Starlink? Not the stupid friggin' satellite crap, but the old Ubisoft game.
The game that is actually quite good.
It is a good game
that a lot of people slept on, and since it didn't do very well sales-wise,
so it was real cheap after a while.
It was a Toys to Life game.
Yeah,
that was released.
It was one of their last ones, wasn't it?
Well after the Toys to Life bubble burst. Like Lego Dimensions was done, Skylanders was done, Disney Infinity was done. And then Ubisoft said, why not us? And they released Starlink: Battle for Atlas, which was like CJ said, a really good like spaceship flying around shooting game. And the gimmick was the toys were all the models of the ships, and they all had interchangeable weapons that you could plug in that would change the weapons you could use. You could pop the wings off the ships and mix and match wings.
Yeah.
That would alter stuff. And then there were little pilot figures that you could plug in and mix and match, and that would all change things. So it was a cool gimmick. The toys were great. Like the little model ships are outstanding. And then the Switch version, came with an exclusive R-Wing.
Mm-hmm.
You got a little Fox McCloud figure, and you got an R-Wing, and they were great. And for a very short while, Ubisoft was selling on their website official like flight stands, so you could display them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, but the thing was, they were, I think they were like $20 a pop, and they weren't around for very long.
Well, they had to make the money back for the game's development.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow.
But I yell as I reach across the room. The mic probably didn't even pick up half of that.
It did pick up most of it. Yell louder next time. Say "but" louder.
But louder. There you go.
We have a show title. Thank you.
Phil's porn name.
But louder.
Look at that. Look at that. I printed up a little flight stand. I just found these. Here, let me get all the stuff off of. There it is. There's the naked flight stand.
Oh,
and you can you pop your little pilot in there. You pop the little weapons on there. And then the ship got the little hole in the bottom there, and it just goes bloop right there. Boom.
Perfect. Look at
beautiful.
That is beautiful.
This thing took me like 45 minutes to print. Little dab of super glue here and there to attach the parts together. And now I got a flight stand. Now I just need to print up like half a dozen more of these. And look at that. Look at that R-Wing for the people watching on the YouTube.
That is so cool.
It's a great little. And then you can see the wings just. Oh wait. Here we go. We'll pop that wing off.
Are you going to do a barrel roll? Oh wait, no.
Okay. Wing damage. There it is. Wing damage.
God,
I friggin' love
that's lovely.
Star Fox. Anyway, so I printed that up. Oh, look. Here, I'll show you this. I'm in the process. Dana doesn't watch this show. Why would she? Why would she?
I don't know.
But I'm making her a Christmas present. Look at that.
Oh,
look at that. I'm making her
it's very nice.
A Star Trek TNG communicator badge.
That's good.
It's going to have magnets on the back. And it's got this little magnety bit so you can clip it to your shirt.
Click it and say energize?
Exactly.
That's too good. I love it.
I'm in the process of printing that up. But, hey, you know what? I'm going to plug this. She works for a mobile game company. A game she's been working on just came out this past week.
Oh.
She was one of the writers on a Netflix game.
Ooh.
And it's based on, there's a reality show on Netflix called The Ultimatum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like some dating reality show. And Netflix produced a game based on it. And she was one of the writers. And it's called The Ultimatum Choices. And if you have a Netflix subscription, you can play it now.
There you go.
So
awesome.
If you want to play like a mobile dating game that my wife wrote for, you should go do that. So
sounds good.
Yeah, that just came out. And she's been like looking up on like Reddit and stuff like that, seeing what the people are saying, and the people who watch the show seem to really like it. So,
well, that's good.
So that's good. Yeah,
that's what you want. That's what you want.
So, yeah, they seem like they're all getting invested in the characters, and she's just like, they're treating it like it's an episode of the show, and it's just like, great.
That's what you want.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's what you want. So
that's great.
There you go. But that's I've been making toy stands. And,
you're the real Santa Claus.
Well, I don't like to brag, but
I'm more like an elf.
I do have a bowl full of jelly. I don't know.
I see.
That's it.
Get that checked.
But who's up next?
That would be me.
You.
I'm up next. Me.
CJ,
baby,
what have you been playing?
I have been playing Dragon Quest 3 HT 2D.
Oh, me too.
Some more. I'm going to be headed to the pyramid, which I guess is like the first major sort of story point.
Where I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Story point of the game. Yeah, I am really enjoying it. However, I should have been paying attention the first part of the game. Do you have to use the Chimera Wing? I thought there was a spell that would let you transport back to other places.
There is a spell that will let you transport out of a dungeon.
Yeah, there's one that transports you out of a dungeon. I thought there was a better way
back to a place. I either don't know about it or I don't have it.
I thought there was a better way to like exit a dungeon, go to a town, and come back.
So because the Chimera Wing will do that. So you can use
the Chimera. Yeah, it does it.
Send you back to town, and then you can go back to where you used it. I believe.
I thought you had to use another one.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
It's not all I don't free, CJ. You got to use some of the resources in the game.
Use a freaking another Chimera Wing. What from my made of Chimera Wings here? Do I look like I'm
12 already?
Chimera Wings. Oh, there's a Chimera Wing spell called Zoom. All right, thank you, Scoop Joey.
Oh.
I don't think I have Zoom.
You probably don't have it yet. Yeah.
No. But anyway, so yeah, I've been playing that, and so one of the things that I did last was you climb this tower. There's been somebody has stolen a crown.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to go get it back, and you climb up this tower. And what I discovered is I have everybody on the auto battle doing like the what? What are you doing? You're shaking your head.
It's like you've never played a video game before. Keep going.
You're shaking your head. What are you doing?
Auto battle. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, it's like, my character attacks and then everybody else does whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you saying you select the attack for every single character?
Yeah, I command them every.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, I don't. Maybe that's my problem.
I think we established that.
Maybe that's my problem. So, yeah. I kept running out of MP.
Yeah, and I honestly even using commands every turn, because it seems very clear to me if you're using the default party that your magic user is pretty useless if you're not using magic. So I got a spell that was really working well for me, because of course in this game you don't choose which enemy you attack specifically. They're grouped. So if you come across a group of like 3 different types of enemies, those are 3 different groups. But like if there's 2 of each, you don't choose which one you attack.
Right.
And so the spells that I had that were like area effect spells would only affect one group. But then I got a spell called Bang, which actually affects every enemy on the screen.
Oh.
It's fire based, so it was really great up until the point I entered the desert, which is where you're at right now, because everything's like you want to be using water spells, and I don't have an equivalent water spell yet. So
okay.
Yeah.
So you've just been banging every monster you come across?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I've been divorced a long time, Phil.
Well, yeah, so I would run out of MP, and I was like, I know there's a spell. They told me there was a spell that could get me back to a town, and I don't remember what that spell is.
So
so I just started using Chimera Wings instead.
Fun fact, and slight spoiler warning, there is at least one floor, maybe multiple floors in that pyramid where you can't use magic. So have fun with that.
Well, Great.
Did you find, so what difficulty level are you playing on?
Standard.
Okay. Did you find that it ramped up when you got to the desert?
I haven't gone to the desert. I am walking to the desert now.
Okay. Well, when you get there, let me know what you think, because it seems like it's gotten way more difficult in the desert. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that wouldn't shock me. So when I started running out of MP, what I would do is just try to grind levels and explore the rest of the island while I was doing it, and then went back to the tower, and I would get to that place again and be out of MP again.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I know, and tell me if I'm missing something, there are no MP replenishing items.
I think there are, but I don't use them, so.
Well, I wasn't able to buy them in any of the shops that I looked at. I was like, one of these has to restore MP, right? No.
Joey will probably pop up in the chat telling us whether there is or not.
Yeah, there probably is. But so what I did is I used Chimera Wing, slept in an inn, used Chimera Wing to come back, and it sets you at the beginning of that tower. So really, you just have to do it again. Mm-hmm. And then I set all of my auto battle settings to don't use MP. So you can set it to not use magic points. And then what I did is I scaled the tower, running away from fights.
Jesus.
Just fleeing from everything until I got to that point, and then I just totally kicked the ass of that boss. But it was not having any MP that totally screwed me. So,
yeah, I mean, I just find that I tend to use a lot of MP.
Yeah, I mean, I do the healing. Even the sort of economical healing version uses MP, right?
Yeah, yeah, but it feels very old school in that, and I think with the desert there's a great example, because it feels very much how I used to play RPGs, which is like, okay, there's a bunch of really good gear in the stores in this like the main town in the desert, and it's all very expensive. And it seems clear to me that you pretty much want to kit out your entire party before you attempt the pyramid. So I've been wandering around the desert. But the nice thing is too, if you want to do that sort of thing, you can get this item called Musk. And if you use it, it ups the random battle rate for a while. So you walk around, you're getting into a fight like every 5 or 10 steps. And it lasts for, I don't know how long it lasts. It's just a decent amount of time. And if you've been picking up treasure and stuff on the map, you've definitely got some. So like when you get to the desert, I that's what I was doing. It speeds up the grind a little bit. I mean, you still have to do battle after battle after battle, but at least you're not wandering around a long time waiting for a battle to start. So,
okay. Right, well, and keep an eye out on that.
The other thing that I've really started doing as well, because I was finding in the desert, like I said, I don't have the proper water-based spells to really be as effective as I want. But one of the things that I hadn't been doing, and it feels like maybe the game wants you to do, is that your magic users, a lot of their items actually have effects if you use them as an item. A lot of their weapons, I should say, have effects if you use them as items. So I like my main healer actually had, for the longest time, had a sleep stick. It was just called a sleep stick, and I was only using it to fight with. And it's like, well, what am I doing? And I started using it as an item, and it was pretty effective. So there were certain enemies in particular. There are these like caterpillar enemies that you've already seen before, but the ones you find in the desert love to use flame breath, which does a decent amount of damage to everybody in your party. And I don't think you can dodge it. And they usually get 2 attacks each. So if you come up against a group of like 3 or 4 of them, they can whittle your HP down really fast. But I found that they were really susceptible to this the sleep stick. So just put them to sleep, and they don't wake up when you attack them right away. So it's, buys you a little bit of time.
Okay.
But it definitely ramps up in the desert.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, that is all I've been playing. Just Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. So, Greg, why don't you tell us about the other things you've been playing?
That's the main thing I've been playing as well. Although I did also finish, for the first time ever, Popful Mail on the Sega CD this week. I've been streaming it on Twitch. Yeah.
You would not finish that.
No. And I'll tell you why.
The difficult platforming that I watched you stream.
Actually, that wasn't too bad in that game. What you were watching me stream was like the very end of the game.
Okay.
It was like well, maybe it was. Anyway, it was the most difficult platforming in the game. But no. So Working Designs, for people who know who Working Designs was, they did a lot more than just translate games. They love to fiddle with the difficulty of games.
Did they?
Yeah, and honestly, Popful Mail has always been one of the worst offenders there. Their work on Popful Mail was kind of ridiculous. They went way overboard with by making healing items extremely expensive. Like, I think things that cost, it's not a stretch to say something that cost like 100 gold in the Japanese version cost 1,000 gold.
Ugh.
And wasn't as effective. And then in that game too, I was going and looking on, I think it was the cutting room floor tonight, just looking at a chart that was put together about what the enemies that they changed, and how much damage they could do and how many hit points, like percentage wise, how they were increased. And I mean, there are some enemies that they increased their attack power by 200%. And those weren't bosses. Those were just enemies you came across in the game. The game was ridiculously hard. And the thing is that the game in its original form is not ridiculously hard. It's not super easy. Some of the bosses are. The final bosses aren't necessarily extremely easy. The final boss was actually pretty tough, but it wasn't because they were damage sponges, right? It was because of their patterns. You just had to learn the patterns. So anyway, I've been playing through it, and I've been playing through the Unworked Designs version, which is basically just a patched version of the game, that still has the translation, still has their American voiceovers and stuff like that, which is great because the work in Popful Mail was quite good on the translation. I mean, their goofy humor mostly fit in that game because it was a goofy game.
Yeah.
So, you still had the weird modern references that I could say some people wouldn't like, but to me, they really fit that game. So it's great that that's all there, but they removed all the fiddling they did with the prices and the, like I'm looking at things like there's an item that you can use in the game called an amulet, which gives you temporary invincibility, but you can't hurt anything while you're using it either. And they raised the price of that item 1,400%.
What?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers in this are ridiculous. Like,
wow.
Stone shoes, you can run over spikes, 900% increase.
Ooh.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Greg.
What?
Get good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And this was just like,
that's crazy though.
Was this just to like counter rentals and stuff?
I don't know. Like, I mean, that seems like
yeah, what is the point?
That seems like the narrative now,
100%.
because there were companies that absolutely did do that. Like Sega has said for years, not that they increased difficulty so much, but like Ed Annunziata has said this multiple times over the years when talking about the difficulty of his games, right? Like especially the Echo games, because they were quite difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And he has said multiple times, like they were tuned that way so that somebody couldn't rent it and finish it on a weekend, right? And I've interviewed and seen interviews with some Japanese developers, like actually the developers of Gaiaris, said that when they were creating that game and they showed it to Sega of America asked them to increase the difficulty for that reason. So it is a legitimate thing that was being done, right? I don't want to say that Vic's full of shit when he says this, but I don't know that was the only reason. I do think that he thought he was making these games better somehow by making them more challenging. But I will say, it felt like it ramped up a lot. Like Lunar was all right. Lunar 2 was a little bit more difficult than I think it should have been. Popful Mail was ridiculous. Vi was way too grindy, I think, because they but I mean, if you look at these different games through the years, they upped the difficulty of so many of these games they released. Yeah. And I mean, they were very open about it because the instruction booklet for every Working Designs game, the final page in the instruction booklet was always just sort of a little hello and thank you from Victor Ireland, where he would talk about the changes they made and why they made them. And he was open about the fact that, they made the games more difficult. Back then they weren't saying so you couldn't rent it. That would be stupid to put in the manual. But
Right.
But anyway, it seems like that narrative has shifted to, well, we didn't want people to beat these games in a rental, which, yeah, that was a legit thing that was happening back then. And maybe that is true, but I don't totally buy it because Victor Ireland is like I say, he's a bit of a bullshit artist. And so, whatever.
I see.
But either way, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed playing the Unworked Divines patched version of the game. It was like 7 hours long. I mean, it's a short game. It's like 5 to 7 hours long. And it can be a little bit mean at times, but overall, yeah, really enjoyed finally finishing that one. It was one to cross off my list for 30 years now. So yeah, that was the thing. And then there's another thing I wanted to mention that it's not a game, but it's game related. So was it Netflix? I think it was Netflix released a documentary series called It's in the Game recently, which is a series about the history of the John Madden football franchise.
Really? Oh, cool.
Oh, I heard about
it. It
this.
is cool. Yeah. So it's
wasn't this a question we got? Do you remember the question? What game series would you want to see documentary on? I think.
Oh yeah.
We may have answered Madden for one of those just because it's such an influential game. And I guess Netflix was monitoring the podcast and decided
as is the case, we willed it into existence.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Namava in the chat asked that question.
There you go.
So it is very cool because the story of Madden is very interesting. I mean, where it went from something that oh my God, Trip Hawkins, the founder of Electronic Arts, was a major football fan, and it was something he was trying to put together for years. He wanted to release a football game for years, and through different machinations, he ended up hooking up with John Madden's group and convincing Madden to put his name on the game. And the documentary series, for the most part, is really good because it really does run from sort of the beginning of that right through to Madden 25. In fact, it's kind of framed as a here's the history, and then they'll do a little bit about the current team working on Madden 25 at the time, and it's kind of like the weight of the history of the series on them and that sort of thing. So it's kind of an interesting framing of it. And
I'm going to have to watch this.
You should. And the other thing is they've got a bunch, and I'm assuming a lot of it came from Tripp himself, because I follow him on Facebook, and he'll constantly post scans of like old notebooks and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of this stuff, and there's a lot of old footage of the old offices and the people who were working on the game, and they really go through the story, and it's great. But a lot is omitted as well, which feels weird. Like it feels like, again, Trip Hawkins is another guy who he's a salesman. He's always been a salesman, and he's good at it. Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they kind of just let him say whatever he wanted to say and just called it gospel. I'm trying to think of it. Well, here's a specific example that I'd never heard before, and I'm sure there's a grain of truth to this, but the documentary pretty much lets him and other people from EA take credit for the fact that Sony released the PlayStation because Tripp tried to sell them the 3DO. Right. And that was the reaction I had, CJ. It's just like,
no,
really? Okay. I mean, that's again, I'm sure there's a kernel of truth there, but I don't know.
You have to ask the other people in the San Mateo software group.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No. So, but I mean, it does go into, and there's a few other things like Tom Kalinski's in it, and they're talking about sort of the meeting, the very pivotal meeting that was had between EA and Sega regarding the fact that they had reverse engineered the Genesis and they were going to release these games anyway, and then how Sega was trying to buy Madden because Joe Montana was in such bad shape at that point. And then, the whole idea of EA making the first Joe Montana game, which is actually the episode of Generation 16 I'm working on right now. And they have a ton of interviews from very pivotal people at the time. Like I said, Tom Kalinski's there, a bunch of people that were part of the early development of the game, but they leave out people like Scott Orr. They don't even mention him. And he was like he was a huge part of it. They never ever mentioned Park Place Productions, which was the company that made the Madden games for them. They never mentioned Michael Katz, even though he was part of that whole process. He was the one who had signed to Montana, and there's just a lot of people they leave out. And it ends up making the timeline kind of fuzzy. They never mention things like there's a whole section. In fact, they're really painted as their biggest rivals, which is the 2K 2K Studios, which was, of course, Visual Concepts. They never mention Visual Concepts. They never name them. They never named Tiburon. They never mentioned that Visual Concepts actually worked on Madden before it was working on NFL 2K. And, that the year that they didn't ship Madden was one of the years that Visual Concepts was working on it. And they have Brandon Justice, who I don't know if you guys both know him or not. I think you do. But they have him there as sort of the voice of 2K, which is fine because Brandon was a big part of that studio and of that series. But they kind of by not explaining things, they make it seem like he was there when the first NFL 2K was being made for the Dreamcast.
Oh, okay.
Even though he didn't go to 2K until like 2001, like little things like that are just, there's all kinds of moments throughout where I'm just like, I don't feel like that's entirely right. Or I feel like they're not giving enough information here to be authentic.
I feel that way about a lot of video game documentaries, though.
Right. And I understand that they're working to a time frame and they did an amazing job. Don't get me wrong. It's very thorough. It's very entertaining. It's very informative, but it just feels like there's a lot that was left out. There's some really big names that were left out.
Would you say they fumbled the kickoff? Wait, did I use that right?
Fumbling, stumbling, but never bumbling.
You don't fumble the
reception. You fumble a reception.
You can.
No, I don't know.
Yes.
The documentary wasn't the slam dunk you'd hoped it would be.
Wasn't a home run.
That's too bad.
No grand slam.
No.
But no, I guess the thing that really caught me is if you don't know anything about the history of any of these series, it feels like a source of truth.
Right.
But if you know a little bit about the history of these series, you're constantly left with like, that doesn't seem exactly right.
Yeah. It's funny, like you mentioned that about this documentary, and I've noticed that about other video game documentaries. Doesn't it, like, when you watch any documentary, do you ever think to yourself, what have they gotten wrong, or are they not filling out in this documentary for the sake of entertainment usually, right? Like,
and I mean, like, there's a account that I follow on Blue Sky. I think it's just called Video Game History. And they did a whole thread about a lot of the things that were kind of left out. And I mean, I know from personal experience because I'm trying to talk. Actually, some of the people that I've been talking to over the last year working on this Joe Montana video were in the documentary.
Oh, cool.
So that was kind of cool. And actually, one of the guys that I've been speaking to reached out and said, "Hey, did you watch the documentary? It's just so cool to see all my old friends in that first episode." And it's like, yeah, that's great, right? Like it's really good. But they were calling out like the fact that Scott Orr is again not even mentioned in the documentary. And I've been trying to talk to Scott Orr for a year now for two different projects, and he's quite private.
Now I know. Now you know why he's not in the documentary. Probably.
Right. And I actually said that. It's like, well, he's apparently a very private person. So I'm not totally surprised that they didn't get him. Right. But they responded with very good point. It's like, yeah, but they never even mentioned him.
Right.
Well, if they're not going to talk to him, why?
He was the lead designer on the first console versions of Madden NFL Football. Like, he was a big deal. So anyway, I don't know. Either way, it is a good documentary. It's very entertaining. It's very informative. but they did seem to leave a lot of stuff out.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Go watch it anyway. It's like 4 episodes, 4 hours long.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
That's it.
I will say, I'm still looking for people to join in on the Gran Turismo 7 Extra Life race this weekend, Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Head to my Extra Life page, make a donation, join us. There's lots of spots open. Would love to see some more people on the track.
Well, and that first, my first Gran Turismo game came out for PS5.
Yes, I just downloaded that today.
I'm curious.
Apparently, it's like an hour long, and you can unlock a bunch of cars that will actually transfer to your GT7 garage.
Oh, that's
really?
Cool.
So I don't know. They're not new cars, but I mean, you can sell them if you already own them, right? So it's a million credits or something like that.
Cool.
But I'll be talking about that next week.
All right, then. I guess that means it's time for tweets.
A tweet, tweet.
All right, let's start with this one from hacker alias John Mark 2131, who says, "Did CJ ever try the hot mustard sauce from McDonald's?"
So sad the hot mustard sauce.
I'd forgotten about
the best McDonald's sauce.
The best McDonald's sauce. I have not.
Oh,
the best discontinued McDonald's sauce.
Not down here, buddy.
It is up here.
Oh, not okay. Well, I have not tried it.
I took my kids to McDonald's for lunch today because we went out to my company always does like a family movie every year as a Christmas party thing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So we went and saw Moana 2 this morning.
Oh,
not
cool.
great. It was okay.
Oh, really?
It wasn't as good as the first one, but
too bad.
It was still a nice movie, but it was kind of all over the place. But anyway, we left. They were all hungry, and my daughter had to go to work in like an hour. So it was like, well, let's go. McDonald's is right here. Let's go. And so we ordered the Grinch Happy Meals. The adult.
Which I don't think we have
Happy
here
Meals.
in the States.
So I'm wearing my Grinch Christmas socks right now. But anyway, we ordered McNuggets, and like when you get to choose the sauce, hot mustard is still listed, but it's grayed out.
Is it really?
It's so mean.
That's cruel.
It's like,
you
just
have
delete
to
it, bro.
export it from the US.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We'll put a bunch of tariffs on that.
Yeah, I know. No, they go the other way. We might put some tariffs on it.
Oh, wait, what? No.
In the coming trade war.
Alrighty. Well, that's the update on the hot mustard. No.
You should absolutely try it, though, CJ.
You should.
I have heard that. Yeah,
It is the best nugget sauce.
I trust you, Phil.
You should.
And I will eventually get around to it.
Okay.
All right. Let's do this one from Brian Maniac, who says, people talk a lot about introducing their kids to various media, but what are some things your kids have gotten you into? Knack 2, does that count?
It absolutely counts if you played it because your daughter wanted to play it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I finished it like twice.
I would say for me, it's more music than anything else as far as media that they've introduced me to. I have a lot of songs that music. I listen to in my regular rotation now because my kids were listening to it and I liked it.
Yeah, same. My daughter went through an Olivia Rodrigo phase, and now I have that on my like heavy rotation playlist because we listen to it so often, and I don't skip the tracks when they come up. So
with the Spotify, like everybody it's like I use Spotify, and they do like the end of the year roundup,
the rewind or whatever.
So I got mine, and I thought it was so funny because my kids use my Spotify account. So I am apparently one of the biggest Taylor Swift fans in the world.
You have 0.1% Taylor Swift
something
fan.
like that. But I'll tell you one thing. I am in the top 0.05% listeners of The Box by Roddy Ricch.
Oh, congratulations.
My son has that on his like pump up sound playlist when we go to sports stuff, and he's in like every sport under the sun. So we listened to it a lot. So yeah, it was funny when it popped up because it's like I'm one of the top 0.05% in the world for that song. Anyway,
that's pretty good.
Yes, I am a Swiftie. I got my special thank you video from Taylor and everything.
Wow.
So I actually do like some of Taylor Swift songs, I have to say.
Me too.
Yeah.
And there's an episode, if you watch The Bear, which I know you have not.
No.
On Hulu, there's an episode where Taylor Swift tickets and then a Taylor Swift song features heavily in the episode.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good show. If you've not watched The Bear on Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever, watch that because it's great.
I will say that
Chicago set.
That is true.
Show. Have you watched it, Phil?
I have. I've been told I need to, but I have not watched it yet.
It's very good. It's very good.
I will say too, talking about Taylor Swift, I took my daughter and her friends to the Eras. I couldn't afford to take them to the Eras tour itself,
but the movie
in the theater, her and her like group of besties. And I mean, it was a great film, like a great concert film. I don't have a ton of experience with that, but it was really well done. But watching them react to it is, I'll go to my grave as that's one of my favorite memories. Like I watched them more than I watched the show because they were having so much fun. So
that's on Disney Plus too.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. We've watched it.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's do this one from
I didn't get to answer.
Friend of the show.
Okay,
fine. Go ahead. Go ahead, answer.
Have you guys seen the Skibbity toilet? It's got that.
All right,
it's got that
let's
Ohio
do this one
Riz.
from
No cap.
Do you own any Skibbity toilet merchandise, Phil?
Do I personally? Or
no,
is
there any in your home?
I actually did get him a little Skibbity toilet thing for like a gag Christmas gift. He's not actually actually into Skibbity toilet, but you know, it's like it's a funny jokey thing.
Yeah, it's super meme.
Yeah. No, I've played more Roblox than I've ever thought I would play.
What a horrible game.
I can't say I'm into Roblox, but he definitely likes to introduce me to whatever Roblox game he is currently into. Right now,
if ever there was an argument for kids games that aren't very good, it's just Roblox.
Yeah,
it's like the ultimate. Like, it's not graphically impressive, and the gameplay on most of those games is terrible.
Right? I feel like it's a great example of why I don't agree with people who say I'm going to make my kid play the classics.
Yeah,
because they're that's for you, not for them.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
Right now, it's Fishk is the hot new Roblox game. It's a very simple fishing game.
Okay.
And he and his friends have been super into it. He's played it a bit with me.
You know, the creator of VVV made a game on Roblox.
Terry
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, Terry Kavanaugh. Yeah.
I always wanted to play that one, but I don't think it was very popular.
Oh, really?
He had I think he blogged about it too. Since Roblox was so big, he wanted to try to make a game in it. And
there's a Sesame Street game in Roblox.
Yeah, there was a Sonic the Hedgehog thing in Roblox too, right? Yeah.
Climb the Giant Man Obby.
That's the one.
Is Terry Kavanaugh's Roblox game.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right.
Lots of obbies.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we do this last Skeet Storm? Skeet Storm? Yeah. So Molly Patterson, friend of the show and EGM editor.
Formerly diehard game fan.
Formerly game fan.
Yep.
Wrote us this tweet. It's several skeets.
It's a novella.
So I'll just go ahead.
Is skeet the term now? Is that
maybe?
It's for sky. I understand. Okay.
I believe that was coined to be kind of an ironic
Okay.
And of course, anything that's coined ironically is just going to
stupid. But
and then it just kind of picked up.
Yeah, we'll call it Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah.
All right. Not sure if this is something you guys have already touched on, but if not, as someone of a similar age range to you all, we grew up with the understanding that consoles had points where they would die, and we would no longer get new physical games. First real change to this was the Dreamcast, where because of the break in the console copy protections, we saw indie publishers bringing out a handful of new games in the years after the system's library was considered finished. Now, however, the idea of systems being finished in terms of new releases is totally out the window. From NES to 3DO to Game Boy and especially to the Genesis, we're now not only seeing new indie releases come out physically, but new localizations, games that were canceled but resurrected, etc. 2024 marked the 35th anniversary of the Genesis's launch in North America, and yet it's received more than 10 new physical releases this year, including a long-awaited English version of the cult classic shooter Eliminate Down. Having these older games live again through compilations or special releases on modern consoles is one thing, but what do you all think of this push to also keep making new physical games for those older consoles themselves? Really cool, wasted effort, amusing but otherwise pointless. Amusing but otherwise pointless side industry. There we go. I did it. I want to hear Seward's answer to this one.
Yeah, because you
bought several,
played a few of them, yeah.
I've played a few of them, yeah. I first of all, I love that the Genesis seems to be like the popular console to do this on. It feels great, but I think it's somewhere in the middle. I do think it's great because there are people out there who legitimately want to play this stuff on original hardware. And some of that has to do with, up until the last few years, I would say for me, a lot of that had to do with original controllers. Because that was important to me, right? It's always felt weird to play like a Genesis game using like an Xbox 360 controller. Like it's not the same thing, right? But there's been a lot of third-party companies that have released very reasonable facsimiles for a lot of old game controller, old hardware controllers at this point. But again, there's some people who just prefer that. So I think it's that's like a very small, very dedicated group. Otherwise, I kind of lean into the whole like this is silly side of it, because
really, okay.
it's very much a collector's thing. Again, I love the fact that like Molly mentioned there, what was it, Eliminate Down that she was mentioning?
Yes.
There's been a few situations like that where there are games that were previously kind of locked in Japan or in another language that have been translated and have physical releases. And I know personally, I mean, Mega Man: The Wily Wars is a great example of that.
Oh yeah.
And I love having a physical copy of that because I still do play physical copies of my Genesis games. And I love that some of these people who are doing these original games release physical versions that play on old hardware as well, right? Like that's awesome. But I feel like we're definitely in the minority, and I feel like that was even more proven when recently one of the guys that used to work at Limited Run Games sort of came out and was spilling the tea on everything after he was let go, where he was talking about the whole 3DO, was it D? 3DO D, how it was on CDRs, and basically saying like that's because most people are never going to open the box anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like that's a much bigger majority. I shouldn't say a bigger majority. That's a majority of the people who are buying this stuff, or buying it to put it on a shelf, or buying it because it's going to be worth more down the road. So I don't know. I don't know that it's wasted effort. I don't know that it's pointless. I do think it's really cool, but I think it's really cool for a very small subset of people.
Allow me to offer a different take on this. Developers who grew up with these machines and didn't have the capability dev systems, resources, etc., to make games for these systems are now to the point where they do have those resources, can make those games, and it's kind of a game dev challenge. Like, can I make a Genesis game like that looks and feels authentic, or an NES game, or a Game Boy game, or Game Boy Color game, like that Grimace game that McDonald's did or whatever? Like, can I make a game that will play on this original hardware? I think it's a great thing. Like, if you're learning game dev, it's a great thing to try to do. It's like, well, could I, with the new tools that we have, and make a game for this hardware? Chances are it's going to be a yes answer. And I think more often than not, it's like a really cool dev thing that also get people to pay attention to your game that may otherwise not have.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like I said, I feel like it's a really hard question to answer. There's not a one size fits all answer, because I do agree with you. And I do love that some people are making these like original games, not even just the remakes or the translations of older stuff. But I guess for me, the other thing is that I have no problem, especially with the volume of the stuff that's coming out now. I have no problem falling back to emulation.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these people are smart in that they give that option. Like, I remember playing the game Tanglewood. I kickstarted. I was one of the people who kickstarted the game Tanglewood, which was a Genesis game, which I think you could, and I think I did get a physical copy. But when you kickstarted it, it also included a ROM.
Yeah.
That you could download and play on an emulator in case you didn't have a Genesis. Or for me personally, it was because it was like I used it because I do use an SD card reader for in my Mega SG. Why wouldn't you? So it was easy. It was nice to have the option to just load that onto the SD card and play it. I still bought it legitimately, and I got the ROM from the people I bought the game from. So it was smart that they were able to do that. And I feel like a lot of companies are doing that too, where it's like, we're making it for the original hardware, but also we're releasing it digitally on modern hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's a shooter that people really love that the name is escaping me right now, that they did that. And it was like, that's brilliant. That, to me, that's the way to do it. Don't just lock it to the old hardware. But I do love being able to pick up and play old games. There's another game that I'm trying to remember the name of right now that was like an RPG that Namco was going to release and never did. A Japanese RPG that was released physically that ended up buying as well. Like, I do have probably a dozen of these things, but I've gone well past the whole, I have to buy all of them because it's just too expensive to do that. And I buy them to play them. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what you should do with video games.
I agree. But I feel like we're a smaller group than the people who buy them to display them and or resell them.
True.
Sadly.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you could direct that to @P1 Podcast on Threads and Blue Sky. Or you can go to our internet website at www.player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart. You'll find Generation 16 episodes there as well, and you'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about in this here episode, alongside a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions. Just tune into one of our many social media accounts to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday evenings at 5:30 specific time. So join us, won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. There are a lot of those homebrew retro games for the Genesis, the Game Boy. What do you got, Greg?
Speaking of that, it just reminded me.
Yeah.
Somebody is porting the Batman Returns beat 'em up from the Super Nintendo to the Genesis.
Really?
And apparently it's going to be out before Christmas.
That's a great game.
And it's going to be 2-player.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Who's the second player?
I don't know. I'm assuming Robin, but there was no Robin in Batman Returns.
There's no Robin in that movie. Is it just a palette swap Batman?
Maybe it's Catwoman. Maybe it's Max Shrek. I don't know.
Don't you fight Catwoman in that game?
I don't know.
Listen, buddy.
Just trying to share something cool. That's all.
Well, my point is,
Jesus Christ.
We need your Patreon funds so we can buy all of these custom ports and homebrews and such, so we can become the premier podcast location that discusses these many exciting games. Doesn't that sound like a great idea?
Yeah.
CJ?
Yes. No.
Yeah? Is that that's the new focus of the show?
Nope.
That's going to be season 2. Once we hit episode 1000 and we
roll over.
We roll over to season 2. We're going to become
start at episode 1 again.
Yeah. No, what we will use your Patreon funds for, of course, is to keep our podcast streaming and running and all that stuff that you gotta pay for podcasts and things like that. But I'll tell you what, friendos, if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
cheap,
you gain special access to a weekly bonus episode that we record right after this. We play games crackwise, having fun doing all of that stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ, do we have a game this week?
Phil, we don't have a game this week. Sorry to say, there's no game. We're shutting it down. It's the end. No, but in lieu of a game, in lieu of a game, we're going to talk about the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation.
Oh my gosh, it's something timely.
30 years of PlayStation. In 30 minutes, how much PlayStation history can we talk about?
It's a good 20 minutes is going to be devoted to whether or not the PS5 themes cover up the icons or not.
And then
I don't think they do, but I've heard Greg.
The final 10 minutes is about the Net Eurose.
Oh. Make your own games, eh?
That's right.
Perfect.
I just wanted that gray PlayStation.
Well, who didn't?
It looked pretty freaking cool.
Well, we are going to be delving into some retro PlayStation fun on our after show this week, so we hope that y'all will join us for that. And I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, why don't you go to patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Philip. And if you are a supporter of the $3 variety,
also cheap.
Even cheaper.
Even cheaper.
You get early.
Oh, are you?
You get a cold.
You okay?
You get early access to every video I put out. In fact, if you are a supporter of that tier, you've already got access to my 3DO video, which will be coming out for everyone else this Saturday.
Outstanding.
Please look forward to it.
I got to watch that.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
I do. I definitely do. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Is that it then? CJ.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Oh, of course. Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Of course. And as usual, big ol' thank you to you. You, specifically you, our wonderful, wonderful listener. Every darn one of you. As always, please take care of yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. And we hope to see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.